Big hand, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Jussi from Siili, and I'm here on stage together with Janne from
Morning.
Ramboll.
I'm Janne from Ramboll. I'm Chief Data Scientist there.
Yep. So we could talk about AI and advanced analytics, and if you come to our stand, we can talk about that. We have some cool demonstrations there. But instead, we took a more business-related angle today and are talking about the disruption. So starting with our vision, the IoT and digitalization in general will introduce huge amount of data, infamous big data, if you will, and it will lead to data and platform economy. And this will be the major destruction. What it actually means that in the future, gradually, the business will go from the product-centric kind of linear supply chains in the ecosystem thinking, and this will be the big change in operation and also business models of many organizations, if not all of them. So how this data journey normally goes. So normally it starts with the kind of, or the current situation still often is that you have some dispersed data that lies all over the organization. So it's not unified. It's more in the silos. There are lots of data warehouses in big companies, for instance. But the data is not utilized in a unified way. The second step is that you have an internal data platform that opens the data inside the company and inside the organization to everyone that needs it. And this kind of relates to the current cloud revolution, because the cloud makes it much easier to kind of build this kind of platforms. Then the next step would be some kind of API economy. So you open your data outside your organization to your value chain, to your kind of partners, and perhaps also for the public, but in some limited way. And the final one is that you actually start to operate like a platform. So you make you start to creating ecosystem where you will be the platform provider or participate at least in a platform. And these are basically the steps, and each company should think about where they are at the moment and how they will kind of go through this journey. And this is kind of the basic idea. And as Iina mentioned in the last or her presentation, we also think that how you would approach this journey is that it's a design-driven, meaning that the people and the business come first, and only then comes the technology. And there are lots of things that you have to think about, but start from the strategical level. So this is easier said than done. So now Janne will tell you how Ramboll has done this in practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Jussi. So yeah, I will be talking to you a bit about our journey, that how we ended up going towards the platform direction, and how do we see our business going from there. So to give a bit of context that what kind of business we are coming from. So Ramboll is not a company maybe that familiar in this kind of events, but we are an engineering company. We are designing and consulting in construction and real estate projects. And looking at the numbers, pretty big one at that. But also when it comes to big companies, it's usually pretty difficult to do new things since our operations are optimized in a way that our regular business is running as efficiently as possible. And actually, coming from really traditional industry, according to McKinsey, construction is one of the least digitalized industries at the moment. So on the other hand, there is huge potential there. And when looking at other industries in the world at the moment, pretty much everything is going digital. All businesses are going data-driven. So when we are looking at the world and what's happening outside our industry, and also sooner or later at our industry, we see that there is a disruption coming sometime in the future. And as a big company in the market at the moment, we have a lot to lose in this game. So we need to be in this change, and we need to change our business so that we have a possibility to be in business also in the years come and also build new kind of business. So we were thinking that, okay, we would need to build something digital. We would need to build something that is scalable. But on the other hand, as a very traditional company, we don't have the R&D resources like companies like Google or something, so that whatever we do, we need to build it on top of the assets and strengths that we have currently as a company. And then this was the starting point that we started with our journey. And we were looking at our own business and the services that we are offering and kind of use cases that we have there. And they are pretty traditional, but as a big company, we have pretty wide portfolio of different services that we are offering to our customers. And some of them are more digital, some of them are less, but the common theme is that there is some data involved. There's usually a lot of knowledge involved, so that combining these all silos, we could have potential to build something that is much bigger than all of these individual services that we are currently providing to our customers. So yeah, so the next step would be that, okay, let's start putting all of these silos together and start building our internal platform so that all the data that we have for the built environment, we are there in pretty much all of the projects that's happening, in, for example, in Finland and across the Nordics. We have a lot of data, we have a lot of information, we have a lot of knowledge that we can utilize. Then on the other hand, there is also a lot of additional data out there. A lot of public institutions and also commercial players are opening their data, opening their APIs so that we can utilize those assets on top of the assets that we have. And then, of course, also construction, real estate, IoT is a big thing there. We are getting more measurements, we are getting more information from building automation. Everything is going towards real-time data. Data is available, but it's not very well utilized at the moment. And then we were looking at the data, or kind of putting together a data platform, and we were thinking, okay, we need all of these fancy technologies that the big boys are using at the moment, so we can utilize those as well in the future. But once again, we are in a situation that this is not something that is core to our business. So this is a change that we cannot do just by ourselves. So we need a partner ecosystem to support us in this transformation and help us building new kind of services to our customers. And then on the other hand, we are looking to go to the direction that we would be opening our data as well to the partners so that they can develop new kind of services to our customers. So going towards a more open ecosystem and then building new kind of data-driven business on top of that. Then looking at how this is going to change our business. So our core business is really traditional project-based work, combining a lot of expertise of different experts, but usually then it's built by time and material, and we sell projects after projects and after projects. And I think it's kind of logical that we are constrained by the physical world there, since we are building bridges, we are building high-rises, and I would guess no one would like to live in an MVP house or drive a bridge that's open beta. So we have some constraints in the physical world that our traditional business needs to operate in more or less waterfall world. But in the digital world, we are more constrained just by our imagination that what can be done. And there, of course, we realize as well that we need new kind of competencies, we need new kind of processes, we need new kind of business that we would be able to succeed in this new kind of world that we are going towards. But we have started on this path, and actually at the moment, most of our recruitments, at least on our end, is software developers and digital people instead of construction engineers, that what has been the tradition in our company. So looking into build an active ecosystem and new kind of engagement with our customers as well, since that's the source where we can utilize our strengths and assets as well, since we have these really good customer relations that we can utilize in this process with our partners and building up the true ecosystem that we can utilize. But overall, also our business is pretty siloed at the moment. When looking at the traditional projects that we are working in, we are mostly involved in the construction phase. Couple of years that we are building new buildings or new bridges or whatever there is built around the cities at the moment. It takes a couple of years, and then occasionally they are repaired and some additional stuff done there. But then on the other hand, there is someone who is owning these assets that we are designing and helping to build, and their time frame is completely different. If we look at real estate, their time window would be some tens of years, even hundreds of years, if we are looking at buildings that are on prime locations in big cities. So they are running these leasing, renting, and selling, exchanging owners of these assets throughout the life cycle. And the problem is that with all of these stakeholders, there's a lot of handovers, and information gets lost within each of these transactions that's happening. And there in the between, there is a huge amount of consultants and facility managers whose most of their, well, not most, but quite a lot of their work is manually look for information that's already existing somewhere, or someone paid good money a year ago to get that information, and now it's nowhere to be found. And where do we see the disruption in this is that we would be building these kind of platforms and open ecosystems that helps us in getting the data and making it accessible to the different stakeholders that we have in this ecosystem. That we would be starting already when we start doing something, start planning for some new project. We would get that data there. It would go to the construction company who is building it, and then eventually going it to the property owner who will be owning the property then tens of years, or selling it after 20 years or whatever. We are accumulating data, and we are enabling the partners in this ecosystem to really build data-driven business that can be used to build new kind of value to our customers and to the all of the players in this ecosystem. Then looking at, this is a bit of our vision, that where we want to go, but of course we want to make this a reality as well. So here, hopefully a brief video where we are at the moment. So we have taken the step forward to actually start building it, some technical problems. So yeah, so we are started this sometime last year and started putting together our platform, combining our data and getting all that information that we have from the projects, that how we are designing, for example, buildings that we are putting up, and then combining that with the operational information when these buildings are then handed over to the owners who are then leasing and operating them. And then also combining all of this information with the dynamic data then that we can get from IoT or building automation, that are these buildings behaving the way that we are designed them to behave? Are the environment there okay? Are the users satisfied with the indoor environment there, so that we could take on to the problems that we see in the media as well, that there is some indoor or air problems with the buildings. We could detect these earlier on and also enable our designers to do better things and designing buildings or the whole built environment in a more intelligent way. So that concludes our journey. We have a live demo there at the Siili's stand. Would love to hear what all of you guys are doing. Looking forward to discuss with you. Thanks for listening.